Royal family, welcome to my channel. I am the picker card Empress. Some of you guys may know me from my other channel where I am made for love. And today what we're doing, we're going to read a channeled letter from your person. So basically I tune into your energy and then I go on the computer and just basically do a kind of stream of consciousness letter from your person. Okay, so today we have 4 letters. The first one is in this white envelope that I made, and it's this flower brooch. The second one is in this peach wrapping, and it's like it's a butterfly. The third one is blue, and this heart brooch. And the final one is in this yellow wrapping or envelope, and it's this purple brooch here. Okay, so do your thing, pick your pile, and I'm going to be back shortly with your letter. Okay, pile 1, so if you chose this brooch and the white wrapping, this is going to be your letter. Now, before we get into your letter, let's pull some significators for your person. We're going to look at the energy that they're currently in, their state of mind. All right, we have here impulsiveness. So this is someone who wants to try their luck, okay? They want to take some kind of leap of faith here. They want new beginnings. This looks like Ace of Pentacles. We have the horseshoe. So again, luck, destiny. And it feels like Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords energy. Not Knight of Pentacles at all. It's fast moving energy, and it looks like they have a lot to say and they're just going to be impulsive about it. It feels like Aries energy here. And we do have their symbol, right? It does feel like Aries energy. Capricorn energy too, because I'm trying their luck is Saturn, isn't it? All right, so what do we have here? We have discrimination. I'm feeling a kind of pride and prejudice vibes with this. It feels like when you guys met, I think they had a lot of preconceived notions and judgments about you, your intentions, that kind of thing. But I remember listening to a TikTok, and he was saying that every judgment is a vision with history behind it. Let me see, because I want to get the right words, guys. I was listening to it just last night. Let me see if it's still on it.
When you understand that every opinion is a vision loaded with personal history, you will begin to understand that every judgment is a confession.
All right.
Listen to that again.
Every judgment.
When you understand that every opinion is a vision loaded with personal history, you will begin to understand that every judgment is a confession. Listen to that.
Every judgment is a confession. So everything that they judged you on, maybe they thought that you were better than them, maybe they thought that you're kind of airy-fairy, whatever it is. Those kinds of judgment were just confessions, okay? Maybe they envied your freedom, maybe they have a little inferiority complex going on, right? So I feel like they had a lot of, as I said, preconceived notions about you, but this has changed. This has changed. Okay, we have here the butterfly. Now I meant to ask for an energy for them generally, so let me do that first, but I feel like this is concerning you, so I think this is them recognizing that they didn't give you a fair shake, that they allowed their history to color their view of you. And that's something that we do, you know, just unconsciously, right? We have influence. All right, so they're changing. We have the snake here. And I'm not getting malignant vibes or malicious vibes from the snake. I'm getting like this snake is a snake, it's shedding its skin, it's changing, right? So your person is changing. This might even be Kundalini energy that we're seeing here. And all this is happening, and it looks like the whole life is changing, and all this is happening, and it's because of you. You woke them up. That's my alarm,
When you
right?
understand,
You woke them up, okay? You woke them up. It is the lovers that's coloring their whole life right now. Okay? So you are the main influence in this person's life. Everything that is happening to them now is because you have stepped in and basically you have rocked their world. Nothing about them is the same. The way they look at love, the way they look at people, the way they look at relationships, the way they look at life, nothing is the same. And it is you that has caused this massive awakening. So that with that in the background, let's read your letter. I had no envelopes, I had to make ones. Yeah. All right, so let's see this letter. Now, it says letter number 3. I kind of number them. So this really should have been pile number 3. So maybe you have a connection with pile number 3. So you can go check that out. Okay, but this is the letter. I try to forget about us and about the mission we signed up for. So he's a runner, he's a track star, or she or they're a runner, they're a track star, right? Actively trying to run from this connection was just too much, too intense. But every time I try to put you in second place, I get these recurring dreams about our union and the projects we were supposed to be doing together. So as much as they're running, in their dreams, they can't hide because their guide spirit bombarding them with their truths. These are their truths, right? Then I start feeling guilty about not fulfilling my purpose here in the 3D. I know I'm supposed to be strong, courageous, and trust the universe to open all the doors of opportunity for us to come together. But reality always seems to be so palpable and so harsh, especially with the karmic still in my life. Okay, so there's someone who is interfering there. It could definitely be an intimate partner that your person has, but this could be like, a very controlling boss, parents, siblings, family members, just so many different barriers, right? I can't seem to get past the obstacles that are being thrown at me. Recently, I've had to pay attention to my mental health even more because of what's going on right now. And I feel vulnerable about falling into depression. So things aren't going too well on your person's side. But you know what? Good is coming out of that because maybe for once, it looks like they're putting themselves first and putting themselves as priority instead of, trying to please other people and making decisions just to please others. And it says, I'll be taking better care of myself and seeking help from a professional because I know this is a necessary step. So it feels like they might be reaching out to a mental health professional. They might be reaching out to a doctor or maybe even reaching out for legal advice, pastoral advice, because they are realizing that they need support. Whatever decision that they're about to make here, they need people who are just in their corner. Okay? However, one of my main concerns is that this is keeping me from coming forward to you. I feel like I'm not good enough. Remember, we just spoke about that. I feel like I'm not good enough, not healthy enough, not brave enough, not stable enough for you. I'm really trying to get out of this bad and unhealthy relationship, but I have become so entangled. And quite frankly, I have a relationship. That bad relationship might be the relationship that they have with themselves, to be honest. right? And then everybody else is just basically an expression of that. All the friends and people in our network rely on us as a stable couple. So, okay, so it looks like an intimate partner. As a stable couple for support and advice. I have to admit that I enjoy the attention and adoration from my circle, as I've always dreamed of living a meaningful life and helping others. But it's all a lie. Every day I wake up, that truth hits me in the face. Nothing about this is real. We go out and it's lights, camera, action. And there I am starring in my role as, and they put this in caps, the besotted partner of the main character. And I need to know all my lines, play my role to the hilt, and never, also in caps, upstage the star of the show. So they are living, dating, someone who has to be the center of attention, has to be the center of everyone's world, or else they're not a happy camper. And when they're not a happy camper, nobody's a happy camper. Okay? And so it continues until we're out of the public eye and the director says cut and the real drama unfolds. Right? So your person is what my brother would call living in character. Every day they wake up, they put on a costume, they go outside, they smile, they take pics, act as the loving family, loving person, loving partner, and then when they go back home, take off the costume, and then the reality of it all hits them. Lots of quarreling, fights, and just not in alignment with each other. If I leave the karmic, I'll be admitting my failure in this relationship. And that's the next thing. Your person has a fear of failure. Your person has a fear of, being judged by others, other people seeing their failures. But, there's some things that we're meant to fail at. And in fact, that failure, that thing that we're meant to fail at, the moment we walk away, that's the victory. That is the victory. Rather than trying to keep the shit together, right? If I leave the karmic, I'll be admitting my failure in this relationship and letting down a lot of people who look up to me with respect. I feel that I'll be judged so harshly by my community if I leave now. So I'm concerned about failure, concerned about being judged by the karmic, by friends, inner circle, whole community, because your person, it looks like they're quite popular. This is why I'm being pulled in so many different directions. I can't seem to decide on what I want or what I need. And that's because they don't know themselves. But I feel this is changing. That this energy that we're saying here, I think this is them. Self-exploration I'm getting with that. I'm hoping that you can help me here. Why is this happening to me? Would you like me to ask that question? I will ask the question. Why is this happening to your person? But we know why. Happening to your person. I'll ask. Because remember, they are always mirroring us. So the answer for them might be the answer for you. Why is this happening to me? What is a lesson that I have to learn from leaving this relationship? Lesson they have to learn in that relationship. Relax. All right. Is this a lesson about my ego to show me what I need? That I need to be more humble, not to think so highly of what others think, and to just serve them more? Is this for me to grow spiritually so that I can finally see what you see and become awakened like you are? All these questions I ask myself daily, trying to make a decision here. I know what I feel in my heart, but for some reason, my brain always wants to take over. Deep down inside, I know what's the right thing to do, but I'm terribly afraid of the consequences and the inner work that lies ahead. This doesn't mean that we will never be together. Please be patient with me. And love always. And some words and some names came through. But even if your person's name is not here, it doesn't mean that's not your message, right? This is just special mentions. Or you can also take like the first letter. If the first letter in the person's name might might resonate with one of these, might be your message. But it really doesn't matter. But I'm still gonna say it because it did come through. So love always. We have Susan, we have Damien, we have Derek, Charlie, Frank, Drake, Osei, and Petula. All right. So let's ask the two questions that they wanted answers for. So why is this happening to your person? Let's find out. Why is this happening? And I feel like what is a lesson they're meant to learn is the same thing, but we're still going to ask it anyways. Underneath the deck, we have Temperance. Yeah, they're being polished. They're being polished. They're being refined. They're being balanced. There's a karmic debt that might have meant to be paid. Let's have a look. We have Five of Swords, conflict, self-sabotage. We have Queen of Swords in reverse. In my readings, all reverse court cards are karmic energies. So that is the bitter karmic, the emasculating karmic. We have Four of Swords, healing. And we have Judgment in reverse. All right, so all this is happening for a person to wake up, right? And to also let go of their judgmental nature. I think your person needs to be very judgmental. I think it's something that they're healing, but I think it needs to be very judgmental. And remember what that person said. Every judgment is a confession, right? So they have plenty to confess. But this is something that they're healing, right? And they needed this karmic in their life to really break down their ego. I think your person had a very overactive ego. And there are certain professions that are more prone to having a big ego than others, like people who are in like the service industries, like national security, that kind of thing. The ego has to be really huge because of the kind of work that they are doing, right? You really have to kind of disconnect from your heart space and really go up in your head. So if your person is like in those service industries, national security, servicemen, we're talking about firefighters, that kind of firefighters, policemen, army, navy, those kinds of things, secret service, that kind of thing. The ego has to be overactive in order to override the heart so that they can do their job, right? So they're here, a lot of conflict around them. Nothing is going right in their life, but this is to push them to release the ego and have that awakening that's been coming upon them in degrees. Okay. What is the lesson behind this relationship that they're in? Because it feels like they're in another relationship. What's the lesson? We have King of Cups in reverse, and that is the karmic whose heart is closed, and it might even be emotionally manipulative. So we have King of Cups in reverse, right? Don't know how to connect to their heart space. We have Strength card in reverse, giving their power away, or might even be misusing their power. We have Justice. This is all for balance. And we have Queen of Cups, which is you. That's you. All this is happening, and we discussed before, this has been triggered by you for them to really learn a karmic lesson. And it is a lesson about one, standing in their power and balancing their relationship with power. Okay, recognizing that power is not dominance and power is not force, right? That's one. Okay, two, balancing karma. There's a lesson here about power, right? And then there's also a lesson here about logging into the heart space and letting the heart be the guide, their compass. Okay, so that they can become a real and proper partner and counterpart for you, and a real asset to the world. Because the last thing the world needs right now is it's other persons disconnected from their heart space. The world needs all the heart energy that it can get. Right? Half of the stuff that we're seeing in the world right now is because people have disconnected from source. People have disconnected from their heart. Right? So this is a reconnection process that's happening. This is them being plugged back into source energy, being plugged back into their heart space. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else that they would like to tell you at this time. And then I'm going to look at what's going to be their next actions towards you, okay? This is the messages of love, oracle cards by All Things Intuitive. And we have strictly sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. But I feel like this is a judgment that they made about this relationship, that it was passionate and not enduring. That's why they may have gone in a different direction. But remember, every judgment is a confession, right? So it looks like they were only interested in sex. Their heart is closed, right? So they can't be interested in love. All right. So we have wait. The timing is not quite right. So what they want you to do is to be patient. And that's exactly what they said. Please be patient with me, right? They're trying to figure things out. They really are trying to figure things out right now. And that's not to say that you should wait on anyone, right? Because we don't know how long they're going to take. We don't know what can happen in the future. You should always live your best life and do what's best for you. We have vulnerability. You can be completely open with this person. So this person wants you to trust them, but they also want you to know that they trust you. And they're working towards building a more intimate relationship with you, where they can really express themselves and open up their heart. We have awakening. Both people in this connection are undergoing spiritual transformations. Definitely. Remember, they're always mirroring you. Okay, so both of you guys have been changed by your encounter with each other, right? Put yourself back to when you guys met. You guys are definitely not the same people. So you have to kind of rediscover each other again. And then we have retreat. Time alone or in nature will help you recharge. So Spirit's saying right now, let it be all about you. Let it be all about you. Let it be all about yourself. Let it be all about self-care. Let it be all about just rejuvenating yourself and not burning yourself out. Just showering yourself with absolute love. Right? All the love that you used to shower on this person, give it to yourself. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Okay? All right. So let's look at this person's next actions towards you. Within a month of you watching this reading, I'll get some advice and we're going to close off. We have 10 of Swords in reverse. Well, they're gonna continue to go through it. I see that. Knight of Cups in reverse. We have 3 of Wands. Yeah, I don't see any movement here. We have 10 of Pentacles in reverse. No. For some of them, they're going to be going through a breakup here with this 10 of Pentacles reverse. That could even mean a divorce. That could also mean crazy ass family members and friends trying to interfere and delay a person's departure from where they're at. So I don't see movement towards you, but I do see them spending more time with themselves, trying to figure things out and trying to wrap things up, right? We have 2 tens here. They're slightly delayed here only because your person's procrastinating, right? Only because they're procrastinating. So they need time to figure out. I don't think that you should reach out right now unless they reach out. They need this time alone. And you need time alone too. Okay? All right. But of course you listen to your intuition always, right? Let's get the last bit of advice. We have Medusa. Jealousy leads to downfall. Okay, so maybe this is something that you need to temper within yourself. Maybe you're jealous or envious, and this connection is helping you to kind of balance all that energy. And it says here, hindrance. Fate has blocked this part for you. All right, so maybe you've not seen any movement in this connection. Spirit is saying this is happening to protect you, right? And this is happening to allow you to undergo your full transformation as they go through their full transformation. Transformation seems to be the dominant energy in this reading, because even from the first card we saw the butterflies, did we not? And then we end with the butterfly wings here as well. Okay, so whatever is happening should be happening, and it's happening for you. Okay, my love, so that was your reading. Hope that was helpful. Take care. Bye. Hey, pal, two, if you chose the peach paper and the butterfly, this is going to be your reading. Okay, so before we get into the letter, let's get some significators for your person. Okay, we're gonna get one for the energy generally, and then the energy towards you. Ooh, friendship. Right, they see you as their best friend. Or maybe friends with benefits. We do have excitement here, right? So they see you as their friend. And it looks like it's a deeply spiritual connection, because underneath it all is the moon. And the moon is about psychic energy. The moon is also about the unknown. So there's something about this connection that's very mysterious. Now, I do see the stork here. Okay, so this person may see you, or you may be a parent, or maybe you guys co-parent together. But it looks like they want to birth something new with you. These look like pansies. Pansies. Maybe they're violets. And pansies came to mind first, so I'll look at that. Spiritual. Love flowers, and generally they're symbols of love and romance. It comes from the French word penser, which means to think of. Free thinking, deep consideration. A purple pansy. Remembrance, deep contemplation, and spiritual connection, which is all the things that we got there. Yeah, so they see this as a deeply spiritual connection, and they are always thinking of you. All right, their energy generally. Lord. We got the lust card. And it's like they can stick out their tongue and taste you, and maybe that's what they want to do. But they feel like if they are going to explode with lust. But I feel like this is something that they hide on a daily basis from other people. They hide their lust for you. They hide their yearning for you. They pretend to be something else, but in the background, they feel like at any moment they will just explode with all the lust, like, and love that they have for you. They think you are like the ultimate man, woman. There's nobody in the world that is sexier than you. And I really do think most of their fantasies do center around something along the lines of like oral, some kind of oral thing. But not you doing it to them per se, but basically them licking you from head to toe. This is their fantasy, to taste you on their tongue. Yup. But it feels like they also view their lust for you as something destructive. Like if they give in to this, something will be destroyed. It could be their mask, could be destroyed, or their whole life would blow up, or something like that. But there's something about how they feel about you is going to destroy something in their life. And that's just them generally. Their energy towards you. Authority. They think that they are your divine counterpart. They think that you guys are meant to be together. They want to see you guys in a more traditional relationship where you guys have a contract with each other, where you're tied to each other so that you can't easily abandon them. This is your person's biggest concern with you. They see you as such a free spirit that they feel like at any moment, if you guys were in a relationship, you just pick up and go, that you won't stick around for their bullshit, right? And it looks like in the past they had a lot of bullshit here. Now, I see the Fabergé egg in his hand. I remember the Fabergé egg was a gift that the Tsar made for his wife as a token of their affection. So they see you as their spiritual spouse. Because this even looks like the king card in this deck. It's the same. It's the same. This archetypes and shadows deck. Let me see if I get the king card here and see what the king card means. One moment. Because it's the same. It's the same egg. Indulge me, guys. Hey, king card, where you at? Where are you? I hope it's not going to be one of the last cards. Because that will not be cute to have you guys waiting so long. There it is. It's the same egg. It's the same egg in his hand, is it not? Right, with the same cross. It's the same Fabergé egg. Right? And the king card in this deck means the benevolent authority. The king carries a regal power and nobility. He has moved beyond the narcissism of making everything about him. He thinks of the whole realm as himself and has adopted an attitude of service and governance. As a devoted king, he will earn the devotion of his subjects. He is royal not just by lineage, but by his attitude. He is the focal point of the kingdom, and it unites itself around him. The king has attributes of strength and wisdom, and I don't think he's just doing this for your connection. I think he's doing this for everyone that is around him right now. He's anchoring this authority. The king is the compassionate, responsible leader who with his vision finds the way forward to bring about peace and prosperity. The king and his people are inseparable. And I think that's how he sees you, right? As his. And you guys are inseparable. He reflects the land and all of his subjects, and the state of the kingdom reflects him, right? If you receive this card, you are asked to embrace the archetype of the king. This will give you qualities of rulership, leadership, and service for the greater good. Your wisdom, maturity, and ability to see the big picture will be the necessary characteristics to make a difference in your own and others' lives. You have the opportunity to foster whatever is good and true. You have the courage to take responsibility necessary to change the situation for the better. You are neither afraid of power nor of ruling for the common good. You bless and bring blessing by taking action on behalf of those around you. So this is someone, I'm going to leave this on the table, right? This is someone who is empowered. They're not forcing their power on anybody. Okay, they're not trying to lord themselves over anybody or any shit like that. This is just them standing in their full power and authority and making decisions that reflect what is in their heart, because this is what sets this benevolent king apart. The ability to act from the heart, right? So this is trying to make a decision from the heart. Wanted to give you a gift. All right, so we know what we're dealing with here. Let us go in. Yes, I made my envelope. Let us go in. Because I didn't have any. Well, I didn't have multicolored ones. All right, letter number 2. Okay. I wish I had more wisdom when we were together, because I feel so much regret now. I'm afraid that you will never be able to forgive me for what I put you through in the past. So this is someone who is speaking from a place of maturity, and accountability for what they did. This is one of the main reasons why I'm scared to come forward with my desires to ask you back into my life. And they do desire you. We saw that. I'm ashamed of how I treated you. I remember all the things I said and did as I let my ego get in the way of our relationship. I should have tried to make more compromises for you. Instead, I chose to try and break you down so that I could control you. So this is beautiful energy that they're coming off here, because it feels like in the past, they equated strength with force. So they were trying to force you to do things their way. It was their way or the highway. Okay? But now they are equating strength with compassion, love, and power and benevolence, right? So this is a big change in this person, right? So their ego needed checking, and it looks like they're checking it. I was way too stubborn because of my ignorance and distorted notion of spirituality. I kept putting my focus on work, money, and gaining status in my community. That was when you slipped from me, and I feel like I was a fool to let you go. All that to start a relationship with this third party. All right, so there's definitely somebody else here in your relationship. Look, I won't lie. I'm still with the karmic because I feel lonely, afraid, and worried about the future when I'm on my own. The karmic doesn't know how to fulfill my deepest desires and needs, which is why your person keeps them in the background here, right? They keep it in the background. Nobody knows their deepest desires and needs except you, right? But I find comfort in them when I'm sad and depressed, right? The situation with a third party is so volatile. You never know what's going to make them blow up, and it's usually the simple things. The arguments have gotten so bad that I'm beginning to think that striking out on my own and taking my chances in the world might not be such a bad idea after all. I'm working on my health as a form of escape, but I'm also using this time to prepare for my departure. My business is failing, my health is shot, and I'm a nervous wreck. I can't take much more of this. I'm like an abandoned child who keeps looking for their mother everywhere they go, searching for that love and reassurance to help me heal. I've been taking care of my body like I should, since I relied on your energy to heal and boost me whenever I was sick or injured. You're the only one that's been there for me through the health scares and my bouts of anxiety, and I appreciate it. I want to give back to you in any which way that I can. I don't always want to be the taker, using your energy that I don't deserve. I want to be able to give back to you and be there for you too. So I'm going to make some time for you and to finalize how to get out of this hellhole that I put myself in. It will take some time, but I need to take the steps now before it's too late. In the meantime, tell me what you need from me or how I can help you in any way. In the near future, I want you to teach me how to open my third eye so that I can help us come together more in the 5D. This is what I have set as a goal. I want to learn more about myself, how to be more humble so that I can share my knowledge with others and help them on their path too. I'm crossing my fingers that this effort of mine will pay off. So we see them stepping into this place of leadership and leadership over their own life first, right? And then expressing a desire to also help and lead others. And there's some names that came out here. If you don't see a person's name, that doesn't mean anything. But I did hear some names, so I wrote them down. And sometimes when I read these letters, I always I'll say, okay, if my person's initial is the first initial of one of those names, then it's for me. But either way, it's for you. But this is a special message if your person's name is here. So we have Jason, Archie, Wendy, Silas, Oko, Senna, Xavier, Bernard, Carl. Okay, so that's their letter. Okay. There was mention of their mental health, depression, and that kind of thing. Let's ask Spirit, what exactly are they depressed about? Is it just this karmic situation, or is there something a lot deeper that might be going on? We have Knight of Swords. So this is them seeing the truth, and this is them wanting to come forward with the truth. And we see like both Empress poised to take action in both cards, right? Wanting to reach out, to give a gift. What's the root cause of their depression? We have King of Cups in reverse. And that card came out in the exact same position in pile 1. If you want to check pile 1, you can. Strength card in reverse. Exact same position in pile 1. The Magician, not in pile 1. 7 of Pentacles in reverse, not in pile 1. And Ace of Pentacles in reverse, also not in pile 1. What is the root cause of their depression? Well, they were never loved. And that is why your presence was such a big thing in their life. Because the love they didn't receive from their mother, their father, their family, they received it from you. That's their weakness. They were never loved. They were never loved. They were never taught how to love. They were never shown love. They were never taught how to show love. Okay? This is their biggest vulnerability. Okay? But this is something within themselves that they are trying to master at this time with this Magician's card. Okay? And that's why they weren't able to invest in your relationship. That's why your relationship was never able to ground. That's why you guys were never able to be stable, right? Because they just didn't know how to love. And this is something that they are learning. So now we see them wanting to give back. Now we see them want to also meet your needs. You just need to know what those needs are. So this is someone you have to be very vocal and communicative as to what you want, because intuitively they're not going to know, right? They weren't shown how to pick up these different cues or anything like that. Okay, they don't know. This person might even be on the spectrum. Okay, so you need to be as open and as articulate as possible as to what you expect and what you need at any given moment in time. It's not that they don't want to meet your need, or they didn't want to meet your needs in the past. It's that they didn't know how and they were never taught. So their heart has never been fully activated or open until now. Is there anything else? Oh, what's this? Vulnerability here. Is there anything else that this person wants you to know at this time? Is there anything else that this person wants you to know at this time? We have unavailable. This person is unable to give you all that you deserve. Well, this is true. It looks like they're tied up with something else or someone else right now. But I feel like they've always been emotionally unavailable. Okay. Now they might be unavailable in a different way, right? All right. Is there anything else that they want you to know? We have second chance. This relationship deserves a second chance. So they said it in the letter, and they're saying it now. They want a second chance at this. They want another go around. Okay, around this merry-go-round here. Okay, they want a second chance. They feel like they're more mature. They feel like they have more tools, more skills, and they're more in touch with themselves and their emotions. And they feel like they can do better this time. What else do they want you to know? Healing old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. So that's what they're doing, right? Healing themselves. They may be reaching out to professionals at this time, but they are prioritizing their healing, prioritizing their mental health at this time. So they're doing the work, guys. Awakening. Both people in this connection are undergoing a spiritual transformation. And this came out in the same position in Power One. So again, I feel like you and Power One are connected, right? So not only are they transforming because they met you, you have also transformed because you met them, right? It looks like both of you guys were unavailable in the past. Something flipped over. And we have integrity. Does this situation align with your values and morals, right? So it's not just up to this person as to whether this thing is going to work. You also have to ask yourself, is this what you want? Do they measure up to your standards now? Okay? Maybe in the past they found you wanted, but do they measure up to your standards and where you want to go in life and the kind of partner you want to have? Right? It's not just up to them. It's also up to you. Based on what we're seeing here, what can we expect? Will be this person's next actions towards you. Within a month of you watching this reading, we have the devil in reverse. I like that. Right? So they're going to be dealing with their own inner demons, their own fears, their own codependencies. For a lot of them facing their depression head on and getting help. King of Swords in reverse. They might be kind of silent as they do that. Knight of Pentacles. But always they're inching their way towards you. Just taking it like one step at a time. and we have 4. So they, but again, prioritizing their healing. This is what they're doing, prioritizing their healing. And they know that if they are impulsive, they're just going to screw this up again, right? So they're taking their time, they're planning, but they know a big part of this movement has to be the movement that happens within. It has to be their healing, right? If they come back as the same person, they're going to manifest the same shit as before. All right, let's get last bit of advice for you, and we will close off this reading. We have the talisman. You are destined to succeed. So Spirit saying, don't worry about this, This is happening. This is going to ground. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles here. And this is also a protected connection. So don't worry about this at all. We have the Maiden. And it says, a new relationship blossoms. Okay, so Spirit's letting you know that this connection is spanking new. Okay, it's not the connection from before. This is spanking new. And it's because both of you guys are spanking new. You're not the same. You're not the same. And it is blossoming and it is growing by leaps and bounds every day. Every day, because you guys are maturing and you guys are taking your healing very seriously. Okay? All right, my love, so that was your reading. I hope that was helpful. Take care. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you chose the blue letter and this heart with the little flowers in it, this is going to be your reading. Now, before we get into this, let us get a significator for your person's energy towards you, right? So we have a channeled letter from your person. We're just tapping into their energy. And we have flex versatility. This was the card underneath the deck in pile 2. So maybe you're connected to pile 2, so you could check out pile 2. And I'm getting the same message that I get here, that, they're trying to be flexible. I see them here also like trying to compromise. Maybe in the past they were very rigid or stuck in their ways. This is them being willing to meet you and the universe halfway, right? But this, I notice as well that their hands are on the ground, so they're grounding something, and their feet are in the air. So this is, your person could be ungrounded at this time, and maybe because they're ungrounded, they might be operating the upper chakras. It could be as well. They could be feeling like a bit unstable as well. Maybe there's a lot of dynamism in their life right now, so they have to kind of think on their feet. Let's get a significator for their energy generally, and then a significator for their energy towards you. We have Fortune. All right. So they've gone through an awakening. I see the snake here. And they're shedding their skin. Okay, and look at the energy all around the snake's head. So it looks like they're getting a lot of downloads, right? And what they're getting downloads about is how to create earthly abundance, but also how to stand in their power. Okay, we have the sun here. And the sun is the highest vibration of masculine energy. It's the vibration of Ra, right? And this is them getting guidance as to what is their power on this earth. What's their power to influence their own world and to also influence the planet, right? So it feels like they're downloading that they're here on a mission. And there's so much stars in this card, is that your person might be a star seed, and they might be just realizing that they are a star seed, and they're not just here to create earthly abundance, but they're also here to create spiritual abundance for themselves and also for the planet. They realize they have a mission here, and their light is needed to be shone on the planet here. So serious awakening vibes, but not just awakening vibes, but also the vibration of someone who is ready to embark on their life purpose, their mission. That is their concern at this time. Their energy towards you. We have endurance. They're not giving up. They are not giving up on you, and they don't care what battle they have to fight to get to you. They're not giving up. It looks like right now they're battling their own inner demons. Okay, I see the beast here, and the beast, of course, is the devil, and the devil in tarot and in intuitive readings, it's all about our own addictions, our own fears, our own inner demons, our own phobias, our own subconscious and sometimes even unconscious beliefs and systems that keep us back from standing in our full power. So they're fighting for this connection. They are, because they recognize that they are your counterpart, specifically the divine masculine, but they are your counterpart. So they're fighting for this connection. This is an endurance test for them. So they realize it's not going to go as swiftly as they want, but it's going to go, right? They've not given up on this connection at all. All right, let's see the letter. Well, I didn't have colored envelopes, so you know how to make my own. So I use this kite paper, and then I didn't have proper tape, so I had to use masking tape. Yeah, so this is not going to end well. I probably won't be able to recycle. Oopsie. I think I have enough to recycle. Anyways, I do try. All right, so let's put this aside. And let's see what they have to tell you. So this letter actually should have been for pile 4, but I randomly mixed them up. I randomly just shuffled them at last minute, right? As like, okay, to make this even more interesting. So pile 3, you've gotten pile 4, so maybe you do have a connection to pile 4, so you can check that out too. So far it connected to 2 and connected to 4. So anyway, let's read. It says, I am getting ready and I want us to be together, even though there's so many obstacles between us right now. Yeah, we got that with that endurance card, right? Because that beast is putting up a fight. They're not going down slowly, okay? I really just want to prepare as fast as possible so that we can be in union. I always hear about divine timing, and now I realize that the words divine timing mean nothing without preparation, intention, and energy. So it feels like your person was just there sitting down there twiddling them thumbs. All right, the universe is going to do all the work for me, not recognizing that there's an energetic exchange that they have to make. They have to indicate to the universe exactly what they want. So this is what they're doing now, and that's why they're battling this beast. It's part of them signaling their intention to the universe to overcome these fears, overcome these obstacles, and really fight for this connection. It only happens, it means divine timing, only happens when we are truly ready, when we have done the work on ourselves, when we have reached a certain level of vibration in order to embrace abundance, growth, and union. This card, right? This is what I'm working on for you. I'm going through this phase where I have to look deep inside myself and figure out why I've been making the same mistakes over and over again. And maybe we can ask that question for you. I'll ask it after I read it. Why have they been making the same mistakes? Same mistakes. Okay. Over and over again. And why have I been with the same abusive types of karmics over the past years? We can ask that too. Why choosing same karmics. Okay. Why have I been with the same abusive types of karmics over these past years? I don't want any distractions here while I open my eyes to the changes that I need to make. I'll be distracting myself from most of my friends. No, I'll be distancing myself from most of my friends and social events to make sure I get enough time with myself. So it looks like they're in their little cave right now and just trying to figure things out. It seems like I'm always choosing the same type, someone who would seduce me even though I didn't think they were so attractive. All they would do is stroke my ego and tell me how great I was. So it looks like this is someone searching for love and validation, and they don't really care where that love and validation comes from once they get it. Okay? This would be enough for me to fall in love with them because of the fact that they were in love with me. So they've never really been in love with anyone, but they've liked people who were in love with them. Right? They're in love with the idea of people being in love with them. The honeymoon phase would then be over after a few months, and then the fighting and drama would start. I know that this pattern doesn't serve me, and it's keeping us apart physically. I did promise that I would reach out and make a way for us to be together, and I still want to honor that. Everything that I'm doing now is going to be geared towards me making the changes in my personality and getting rid of my bad habits. Well, we saw them here battling the devil, so that's confirmation. It's finally clicking in my mind about what you've been saying all this time. And that's the thing, nothing happens before it's time, and nothing happens before someone is ready. Like, you could be talking, like, it's just like children, really, right? There's some things you can be talking to your children about over and over and over again. So, for example, when I was a child, my mother will, or like when we're going out, she would always, when we're talking about AIDS and stuff, and they have these shoes with the little heels, right? And she would always talk to me about, making sure that your shoes are nice and clean. And especially some people forget to wipe the heel of their shoe, and sometimes that's caked in mud and stuff. So she would always have to remind me about that. But it was only when I left her home and I was about 21 that, that lesson really integrated or really downloaded in my consciousness, where I was doing it on my own, right? So it's like the same thing here, right? Maybe you've been telling this person something over and over and over again, right? And it just never integrated, it just never clicked until that moment. And it looks like this moment is now. And it says, I need to just take the steps for myself or just seek help so that someone would guide me in the right direction. I'll be looking into meditation and other healing techniques so that I can find the truth for myself and not rely on input from others for once. I don't know how fast I'll be able to get moving with this, but I'm trusting the universe that I'll be ready just in time for you to grab me by the arms and pull me in. And then I heard some names when I was channeling, so I wrote them down. Now, it doesn't mean that if your person's name is not here, it's not for you. It just means that it's going to be a special message if they are there. And the names I got was, what I also do when these names come out, like if the first letter of your person's name begins one of these names, then it's probably another special message as well. So I got Winston, I got George, Titus, Thad, Christian, Manuel, Boris, Nick, Sebastian, and Ronnie. Okay. All right. So let us ask those two questions that came out of this reading. Why did they keep making the same mistake over and over again? And why they kept choosing that specific type of karmic? But I feel like we already got that answer tongue tied. I feel we already got that answer to the second question, but we're still going to ask and get confirmation anyways. Okay? It's because they needed the ego stroke. Alright, so let's see. Underneath the deck, we have justice. So a lot of this, of course, is their lessons, and there might have been karmic imbalances from past lives that they had to balance off as well. All right, let's have a look. Why did they keep choosing the same type of karmic over and over again? Okay, yeah. We have the moon in reverse. It's part of their shadow work. And plus, they weren't listening to their intuition either. We have the Ace of Swords, clarity. We have the Six of Pentacles. That's a card of karma for me. And we have the World in reverse, also a card of karma. It's a karmic debt. It's a karmic debt from past lives. Okay, this is all those persons that they kept choosing were persons from past lives that they had karmic debt with. So it was a karmic debt. It was part of their lesson, and it was also them not listening to their intuition, because I feel before they chose these persons, they would get intuitive hits. This is not the one, but they just didn't care. The drive to be validated, the drive to just have all these people around them, the fans loving them, was just too much to resist, because their soul was so wounded and they felt so empty. So it didn't matter who was filling their cup once they were filling it, and the more persons that were filling it, the better. So your person may have had multiple karmics at any given point in time, right? But this was a karmic lesson for them, and it's a lesson in them diving into the truth of who they are as well, right? It feels like, because the reason why we need all this validation is because we are afraid that our true selves or true self isn't good enough, right? That's why we always want this validation, right? It's self-love deficit disorder, right? So what your person downloaded from all of that is their own truth, and recognizing that their truth is good enough. The truth of who they are is good enough. They are good enough, right? So all these experiences gave them the clarity that they have now, to battle their own and their demons that was making them feel less than. Why did they keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again? We have Five of Pentacles, and that's an abandonment wound to me. We have Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, they weren't putting in the work in themselves. We have Five of Swords, or a self-sabotage. So we're getting all the reasons. And Two of Pentacles. Okay, so we're getting all the reason. It was just their own subconscious fears. Okay, their own subconscious fears, their own programming, right? And instead of working on their own shit and their own phobias and their own wounding, they just decided, this external validation would be sufficient. But the thing with external validation is that people are fickle, right? And they could be here today and gone tomorrow. So you always need this constant supply, and then you're not dealing with the main issue. You're just putting a plaster on this big gaping wound, right? Instead of actually addressing the wound itself, and the genesis of it, and treating it, right? So that's all they were doing, just slapping on a little band-aid on this big gaping wound that they had in their soul, in their heart, right? Hoping that it would suffice, but it was just never enough. Never enough, because they're not dealing with the core issues. And the core issues look like there's an abandonment wound here. Okay. There's also a self-confidence issue. So they kept sabotaging themselves over and over again. Not putting in the work in themselves. Might be even investing in other people. And it's like they had so much distractions. Look, the juggling card here. So much distractions, just like a bee to honey, right? So much distraction, so many different flowers to pollinate, that it never got time for themselves to really focus on what they need to focus on in order to move forward. But it feels like now that they're in this cave, they're in this healing hut, this cave here, they're finally able to deal with their shit, to deal with their stuff. Is there anything else that they want you to know at this time? Is there anything else that they want you to know at this time? We have acceptance. Everything happens for a reason, right? So I think that's what they're moving towards, accepting that everything unfolded as it should. When you're on these journeys, it's quite easy, and sometimes you get to a point where you're beating yourself up for not getting to a particular place faster, right? If I'd only known what I know now, kind of thing, and you kind of start looking back. But everything had to unfold as it should, right? You had to learn those lessons to even come to this moment, right? So I feel like they're in acceptance of, that is just the journey that they had to walk, and they had to take all those steps. They couldn't take a motorbike. All right. What do they want you to know right now? We have stability. This relationship can stand the test of time. So I feel this is something that they are gradually integrating. I think they always may have seen you in the past as something transient, something temporary, right? Okay, because they're accustomed to people coming into their life. Beautiful, remember they said it, right? Beautiful honeymoon period, and then the drama starts, and then they part ways. And they thought that this would be the same natural cycle with you. They would be able to enjoy your energy, and they might even be the instigators of the drama, right? That's the way they self-sabotage. They might have been the instigators of the drama, and then you would leave, and then they would get multiplying. I would just be like that. But now they're realizing that this relationship has legs. It can stand the test of time. You're meant to be a permanent fixture in their life. We have mastery. You've learned the spiritual lesson. So they're letting you know that they have learned the lesson. They're no longer running away from themselves and the things that they need to heal. They are tackling life head on. We have spiritual lesson again. This person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. And again, we get here that they're also recognizing that you guys came together not just for their benefit, but also for your benefit, right? They have also been your teacher. So they're seeing how this relationship is symbiotic, very much unlike their other relationships, right? It's really give and take. You are helping them, they are helping you. And it's just a beautiful energy to be in, and they see that. They see as well that, this connection is deeply spiritual. It's not just a sex thing, a love thing. It's a spiritual thing. And then healing. Old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. So this is what they're doing right now. Revisiting their old childhood wounds, because this is exactly the void that was there, clamoring for their attention, right? But instead they were just, just finding all sorts of distractions here, there, and everywhere. So based on what we're seeing here, what can we expect will be this person's next actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading? We have the Queen of Pentacles. Listen, definitely watch 2, because this came out in the exact same position, I think. Was it? Maybe it's not this reading. No, it's not this reading. Sorry. I don't think so. No, it's not that reading. Maybe it was a reading on my other channel yesterday. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, they're going to be dealing with any kind of third parties in their life. We have 8 of Wands in reverse. That may have kept them stuck and distracted them from their ascension journey. And we have Page of Swords. I think they're going to reach out with a text message. Or maybe they'll just, settle for spying on you. Right? But they are going to be dealing with those things in their life that's not offering them stability, that's not nourishing them, any false foundations that they may have built that may be between you guys. Okay, because this is you, this is them, and these are the things that separate you guys that may have kept them stuck or trapped. That's what they're going to be dealing with. Okay, alrighty, let's get the last bit of advice from Spirit, and we're going to close off this reading. Underneath the deck we have hindrance, right? And it says fate has blocked this part for you. So these blockages here is not just your person manufacturing stuff either, right? They have their own shit in here indefinitely, but Spirit saying this is something purposeful, and it's to allow both of you guys to change and transform. We have the chimera. Okay, imagination clouds your judgment. So it feels like your own mind right now is your worst enemy. Okay, I feel like maybe you guys have been either in separation, not talking to each other as much, or you're not having those intimate conversations. And when we don't have those intimate, straightforward conversations, we're left to infer and speculate on a lot of things. And it looks like your inferences and speculations have created a lot of fantasy and a lot of illusion that's really clouding the truth and really clouding your ability to make a proper judgments in the situation. So Spirit is saying, in order to get rid of this energy, this illusion energy, you have to have the conversations. Okay, so your person's going to reach out. It's going to be something light at first, but you gradually have to take it into deeper waters and really talk about what you guys want and what you guys need, and your feelings, because that information is what is going to wipe out or get rid of the cloudiness, the mask, the illusions that are keeping you guys apart. Okay? All right, my love, so that was your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please please subscribe if you can. I would love that. Put a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm. You can put a full stop. It counts, all right? Thank you guys so much. Take care. Hey, part 4, if you chose the yellow envelope and this brooch, this is going to be a reading. So before we get into that, let's get some significators for your person, okay? We're going to get 2. One for the energy generally, and another for the energy towards you. And underneath the deck we have isolation. So right now they might be spending just a lot of time alone. They don't want anybody around them to harass them, okay? Because what they're trying to do is figure shit out. This person, there's some kind of issue or problem that they are trying to solve, and they need to do this on their own, right? It might have to do with their family, it might have to do with home life, it might have to do with love, okay? And what do they want to invest their time into? But they're just taking time alone. They just can't take the energetic bombardment from anybody else. This is someone who is overstimulated and overwhelmed at this time. The energy generally, rebellion. All right, so they want to strike out on their own. Now they have a truth, okay? And they have a truth that's different from their ancestry. that's different from their elders, their ancestors, the way of their people. Okay? And for a long time, they were keeping this hidden. They were cloaking this. But now they want the world to see. And they want their family, family to see exactly who they are. They might have been part of some kind of religious or spiritual sect, or maybe even part of a militia, an army, um, service industry. But there's something about them no longer aligning with the doctrine of that particular group, okay, that is represented by these people here. And they want to strike out on their own. They want to leave the kingdom here. They want to leave this comfort zone that existed behind these walls. And they want to explore the whole new world that is opening up to them. They will no longer be bound. They will no longer be bound by ideology, nor space, nor place. They are wanting to stand and assert their own truth. We have the energy towards you. We have concentration. So they're thinking about you a whole lot, and they want to, communicate and tell you about their thoughts, their feelings, and about their feelings of jealousy. It looks like. Um, I don't know if they think that you're with somebody else or if you've moved on, or this is just their mind running into overdrive or whatever, but they're really jealous. And there are a lot of truths about their emotions that they want to speak to you. You have ensnared this person. If you look at it here, right? There's a little spider web. You have ensnared this person in your web, and it's like they can't seem to be free of you. They can't seem to let go of you. This star is happily stuck here in this web, in this cocoon here that's been spun, and you have their full attention at this time, right? Whereas they might have been distracted by this one and that one and this thing that's happening and all that, you have their attention. All right, let's read the letter. Did not have any colored envelopes, so I had to improvise. And then I didn't have any tape, so I had to improvise as well. So I used masking tape. Oops. Right, so let's see. What is the letter here? All right, so you might be connected to pile 1 because I wrote out specific letters for specific piles. And then you're like, let's make things interesting. And I just shuffled them at random at last minute. So you have the letter that was meant for pile 1. Anyways, it says, where are you now? Right? So it feels like they're out of the loop of information concerning your life. They don't know what you're doing and who you're doing it with. And I think this is what's driving them nuts too. Where are you now? I've been looking for you and searching the internet for you everywhere. So somebody's playing detective, trying to check up on you. But I feel like you might have intentionally gone off grid. Since the last time we spoke, I've been trying to reconnect, at least to know that you're all right and that everything is fine. Yeah, right. I'm trying to find more recent pics of you to make sure that you're doing okay and to see if I need to come to your rescue. Please, please, please. You do not. This is just them. They're imagining all sorts of different things. They're just trying to figure out what you're doing. And I really think who you're doing it with. That green man there tells me spirit of jealousy is alive. Sometimes I search for hours. See, I told you. Sometimes I search for hours, hoping that you haven't moved on with somebody else. I told you guys. I felt it. I wake up in the night sweating from nightmares of you, leaving me and moving on. How could the universe be so cruel to punish me for a decision that I made when I was such a child inside? Okay, so it feels like They had an opportunity to be with you, to be in their integrity, to align with their heart space, and they didn't. It looks like they were immature, they were childish, and they just can't seem to understand that, unfortunately, every action has consequences, and this is part of the consequences of them not having the tools that they needed to be in a relationship with you. It doesn't seem fair. Perhaps it isn't. I know now, yeah, maybe it isn't, to be held accountable for those kinds of decisions that we made when we just weren't our best selves, or even our right self, really. It doesn't seem fair. I now know that you blocked me from your social media. So some of you have blocked this person, and on your phone. I don't blame you, because I definitely don't deserve you. I've hurt you in the past, said mean things that I wish I could take back. I'm afraid now that it's too late to apologize and admit that I was wrong. Only when you stepped out of my life is when I realized you were the best thing that ever happened to me. So, quintessential energy of, you don't miss the water till the well runs dry, right? They just didn't know what they had. Now I feel so lost without you. I have nowhere else to turn, and frankly, I'd rather be with you. I want to hold you in my arms and squeeze you so tightly. I wish I could wipe our slate clean and start over. You're one of the most beautiful people I know, inside out. I don't know why I didn't realize this sooner. I guess I was blinded by the manipulation and love spells from the karmics in my life. So, yes, they made horrible choices because they were immature, but there was interference in your connection as well. So, there is that. It seems like it's only when you've been at your lowest that you understand what you really need in your life. And that's the thing about the ego death, right? That it takes us to ground zero, right? Takes us to ground zero. And it's only through that kind of adversity that we realize what's important, and we're able to reprioritize. And I think that's what, us going through the pandemic, that COVID period was all about. It's taking us back to the basics about what life is about. We thought, life was just working hard and working like a dog so that you could just, perhaps enjoy a retirement period. But a lot of people don't even get to enjoy the retirement. Life is about enjoying life now, right? And doing the things that we love and having jobs that we love. So a lot of people during the pandemic, just shifted into following their passion, following their heart. And I feel like this is what happened to your person. It seems like, so I'm going to read it. It seems like only when you've been at your lowest that you understand what you really need in your life. Someone stable, loving, and kind with a heart of gold. You've been compassionate with everyone, and you shine your light wherever you go, even to help the needy and the weak. I can see now why you have so much balance in your life. And that's what was missing from the world, right? Balance, work-life balance. And why people say so many good things about you. Won't you shine your light on me? Yeah, but you will shine your light on them, weren't you? And they just didn't appreciate it. I just want to bathe in your glow and feel whole again. Just want to feel the sun again. Just want to be happy again. So I feel like, even though they're growing, they're changing, there's still a lot of codependent energy that they have going on, especially where you are concerned. They are addicted to you. I'm afraid that I may have woken up a bit too late. I'll continue to look for you in the hopes that the universe will have pity on me and show me a sign in the right direction. I've more faith now than ever before thanks to you, and I understand more and more each day about how to manifest what I want in this life. I know that eventually I'll find my way to you once I don't give up and stay positive. My greatest wish would be to reconnect with you before the end of the year. Okay, and then it says, "Oh, my love." And then I heard some names, so I wrote them down. If your person's name is not here, it doesn't mean that it's not your message, right? It just means that it's extra special, right? But what I usually do, I take the first letter in each name and see if it's the first letter in my person's name, and then that's also another sign for me. But this is just, if it's just extra special if your person's name is here. And the names I got was Junior, Julia, Rush, Joe or Joey, Bane, Samuel, Walter, Linda, and Lyndon. Okay, so that's the letter there. Okay. Do we need any clarification on anything that was said in the letter? Let me just quickly scan. All right, so for some of you guys, there might be a third party in this because they do talk about comics. Let's ask Spirit, what's going on with that karmic relationship at this time? Maybe that's something I can give you clarity on. We have King of Wands in reverse. Now, King of Wands in reverse, he got anger issues. He is a philanderer. He may also abuse his spiritual power through spell work and manipulation. He might be a very underhanded business person. King of Wands in reverse. Sometimes he's a master procrastinator. Okay. So that's the energy underneath the deck, the energy behind that whole question. All right, so what's happening with the karmics in their life right now? We have the Hanged Man. So they've been enlightened as to what these karmics have been up to. That's why they can tell you straight out, this is what was happening. And we have here the Nine of Swords, a card of depression. But it's like they're trapped in the mouth of this thing, isn't it? Right? We have Page of Swords, immaturity. And we have Eight of Wands in reverse. There might even be no communication, or they just might feel stuck in that relationship. All right, so they've been enlightened as to who these karmics are in their life and what they're all about, right? They're seeing things clearly. They may have even blocked some of these karmics in terms of on social media, okay? But they're really depressed that they actually chose to have these karmics in their life instead of you. They just feel so stuck. They feel like there's no progress in their life whilst they're here near these karmic energies. Let's ask Spirit. Now that they know who these karmics are, what they're about, what is your person going to do about them? What's your person going to do about these karmics here? We have Eight of Cups in reverse. We have Five of Cups in reverse. Heavy energy. The Devil in reverse. And the Queen of Cups. So it looks like they're making a choice. And the choice they've made is for you. Okay, because the Devil is in reverse here. So it looks like in the past, they felt like they were unable to walk away from this karmic energy. They felt stuck there. But they weren't stuck there. They were just wounded. They were just wounded, right? And their woundedness made them feel like this was the best that they could do. Okay, that this was what they wanted. But now they're realizing that's not what they wanted. That's what their addiction wanted. That's what their woundedness wanted. That's what their wounded self wanted. That's what their ego wanted. So now that they're logging into the space of their heart, they are saying goodbye to these addictions, to these negative people, to this dysfunction, and they are choosing to align with their heart, and their heart aligns with you. Okay, so it looks like they're releasing these energies here that may have kept them bound in the past. Is there anything else that they would like you to know at this time? And I'm going to be using this deck messages of love, oracle cards. Is there anything else that they want you to know at this time? We have release. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. And that's what your person's doing right now. Radical acceptance of their toxic situation so that they can let go. They're no longer creating little fantasies in their head to help them get by where they're at. They're seeing people for who they are. They're accepting people for who they are. And they're realizing they don't want to be part of that. And this is what's helping them to let go here. What does your person want you to know right now? Chemistry. The attraction you feel is mutual. So they want you to know that you're not alone in the way that you feel, right? They also feel the same way. They are magnetized towards you. They love you. They are, they're sexually turned on by you. You can just speak and they like in full bloom, You're right. So they want you to know that it's mutual. If they told you it wasn't mutual in the past, it was a lie. They were just trying to push you away. It's absolutely mutual. We have time apart. Some distance will help bring you clarity. So this is what happened to your person. They needed that time apart from your energy so that they can miss you, so that they could recognize exactly how they felt about you. It looks like as long as you were there, they didn't have to worry about you. They didn't have to delve deeper as to what you were to them or anything like that because they had you. But the moment you stepped away and they felt that vacuum, right, that's when they realized, oh my gosh, I really am in love with pile 3. We have boundaries. Firm boundaries are needed now. So that's what they're doing. Setting firm boundaries with the people in their life. Okay, it looks like in the past, like they allow people to really influence them, allow people to use them. They're not doing that anymore. They're speaking their truths loud and clear to those who can't seem to respect that they are an autonomous being. And that's what they want you to know. We have vulnerability. You can be completely open with this person. So this person trusts you. And they want to be completely open with you. And they're hoping that you guys can create that safe space where you're able to be open and honest with each other. Okay. Now, based on what we're seeing here, what can we expect will be this person's next actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading? We have Page of Pentacles in reverse. We have Temperance. We have Hierophant in reverse. And we have Death. So what I'm getting with this is, for this pile, I don't think that they're going to reach out. I think all their actions towards you is going to be happening internally. So drastic transformation and change, breaking away from any contracts that no longer serve them. They might be going through breakups. They might even be with, a wife, a spouse, or something like that. And there might be a divorce that they're going through. We have the Hierophant here in reverse. But they're going to be breaking away from the way of their people. I keep getting that. The way their family usually does things, Okay, maybe they settle for dysfunctional relationships. Maybe they stay in loveless relationships. Whatever it is, they're going to be breaking away from the way of their people and moving into something spanking new, something that is led by spirit. Okay, we have the dove there, which is always the Holy Spirit. This is them refining themselves, manifesting stability in their own life, right? So that they can make the right decisions for their life right now. And they don't want that to be influenced by anyone's energy, not even yours. Let's get some advice from Spirit. we have the Maiden. A new relationship blossoms. So it looks like there's this fresh start. I see the little flower here, right? The symbol of love. There's a fresh start that is about to be manifested in this connection. And this relationship is going to the next level. What the Spirit wants to know right now. We have Madam Fortune. I usually keep these cards in to symbolize Ace of Pentacles, right? But today this looks like the Wheel of Fortune. So just as they said, a new beginning is about to start. A new beginning is about to start for this connection, and for you too, personally. A lot of abundance, a lot of love, a lot of downloads. You just doing your own thing and aligning to what lights you up. Living a life of passion, where you're not just going through the motions and existing every day, and you ride the train to work and then you come home and then you no longer that boring routine. You're going to be branching out into something that you absolutely love, that gives you joy each day to do, especially in terms of your work. Okay? All right, my love, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and please subscribe to the channel. It helps the community expand and grow. Okay, take care.